We sing the tale of Maralone, yo-ho, me lads, set sail to brave the curses sevenfold beyond the misty veil. Yo-ho-ho, beware what lurks below. Yo-ho-ho, below the shore we go. A mark of black upon our hands. Yo-ho, me lads, take heed. We're bound together, salt to sand. With every drop we bleed. Yo-ho-ho, we'll find what lurks below. Singing yo-ho-ho, below the shore we go.
Hello and welcome to the final episode of Below the Shoreline. I am your Dungeon Master. My name is Eric Munro Schwan, here with the crew. You know them, you love them. John Webb.
Hello.
Sam
Hey.
Rutledge.
Hi.
Asteria.
You guys are all blue.
And Ian Frost. You're serving Terezi vibes from Homestuck. Shout out to the
Yes!
Homestuck
She's
fan
the-
of my guest.
She's the best troll, honestly.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But we're here doing the last episode of this dang Dungeons and Dragons mini campaign. So let's hop into it. There's no time like the present. Last time on Below the Shoreline, our heroes rushed to the thought-to-be abandoned cabin of Terrell Lightfall and confronted the mysterious hooded figure who had been seen across the island. They quickly dealt with the man, who was revealed to be Bryson Beneford, the acolyte of preacher Gerald Bluebond, who himself was finally revealed to be Priam Soldegas Locklaway, the architect behind the island's curses, along with the fallen god Oceanus. Bryson suggested that the final curse our heroes would face before Priam and Oceanus themselves would be found in the long way down. Then he was promptly thrown in jail at the stowaway, along with Sammy Samewise. Many emotional conversations and periods of reflection were had all around, including Qell and Calanthe, discussing Calanthe's new powers gifted by the great reef Gordios. Ascending to the long way down and finally facing the last curse, our heroes were confronted by some of their deepest fears. Overcoming those, they faced down a gaggle of Ursula the Sea Witch-esque cephalop monsters. Dispatching those, the spirit of Gwenross Rubychin, famed pirate, greeted our heroes and gifted them the 4 legendary weapons she swore to protect, bidding them to return each to their homeland if they themselves wished to do so. Exiting the cursed dimension, they looked down onto the back beach and saw the door open once more. That dang coral door. Knowing a bit of what awaits them on the other side, that is where we pick up. So, it's like mid-morning. You guys did that curse pretty early in the day after resting for a while. So you got most of the day ahead of you to chill. You could go back in this evening if you wanted to do a little long rest and then hop into the final boss. But you could also just take this day to rest. You are I think you're about a day ahead of schedule in terms of the curse.
Can we get like a status update as far as on like the island itself?
The island itself there's this eerie stillness that's descended on the island. There isn't any wind. There's just this dome of fog surrounding the island. After you guys kind of talking with some of the townspeople and Yasley being more honest and kind of like letting them know exactly what was going on, both the townspeople and the visitors, it seems like people are a little bit more chilled out, but there's not a lot of sunlight. The Great Reef of Gordios is in a cave somewhere, which has never happened before.
How chill
There's
can you
this-
be right now?
Exactly,
sort of
yeah.
vibe. Yeah.
How chill can you be when you're the end of the world might be happening tomorrow,
Yeah.
and you are in a claustrophobic fog dome, you know?
So are we like picking up right where we stepped back out and we're then
Yeah.
like the doors open and now we're just standing here?
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
are looking down at the back beach and see the door.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
John, does that answer your question, or did you want
Yes.
anything else specific? Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Oh, and I mean, for your whole life, you've heard waves lapping against the shore. There are no waves.
Ooh, it's still water.
Awesome.
Yeah, just still water. Yeah. But yeah, where do you guys want to go? What do you guys want to do?
I think Qell's gonna look down at this cornerstone that he was given,
Mm-hmm.
this like chained band,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just been holding it, kind of looking at it, turning it over in his hands, hearing the name of it, Conqueror's Cornerstone. He's just sort of mulling it over, and he takes one of his swords only and brings it out, not the second, and he slips it over sort of the bottom where the bone of it sort of, the part of the bone that's like looks like a little heart at the
I know
end.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. It slips over that part, and then it immediately like suctions to the bottom of the weapon like halfway
Ooh.
and like molds to it. And then he looks at it, and there's this moment where it looks like he just kind of knows what to do, and he brings the other sword out, connects it at the hilt, and clicks it, twists it into place. And you see him hold out in front of him this a now double-sided version of his weapon, his two swords put together, the hooks in opposite directions, creating kind of a question mark motion.
Ooh. We're giving Darth Maul realness.
I was about to say, yeah, he looks at it and he gives it a couple of like Darth Maul twirls, like, brings it around his head, and then he just smiles really wide and he goes, "This will do."
I think Calanthe was also doing the same of like feeling the weight of I remember the name, Scorched Shivered Shanks, and like sort of like Aragorn style before Helm's Deep, like, tests the weight of the sword, because like a gun on a sword is weird, so she has to get used to it, and she's like swinging it and like making sure, and like swinging it and then moving it to shoot, and like making sure she can do that smoothly, and then like she sees that and she's like, oh. Takes a minute and then just sort of like keeps going, looking in the opposite direction.
Yeah, but sometimes the Darth Maul moves are too hot.
Yeah.
Simply too hot. Yeah, you guys are bedecked with these legendary weapons, which as much as you guys have been kind of bedraggled through these curses, you're looking pretty fly with these weapons.
Perhaps it would
Marius?
be prudent for us to practice a bit with our new abilities before we enter the final fray.
Calanthe is just like, yep, sure, yeah, let's do that. I have nothing else to do. Any of you guys have anything else to do? I don't have it.
How do we find both Bene and Marius at this point? How are they feeling?
Marius is just like examining the shield. He's just kind of taken with it.
Amazing. I love that. How's Bene feeling at this moment?
Bene, I think Benny's kind of just getting to the point of he kind of really just wants to be over with.
Yeah,
Like he's
entirely fair.
Yeah, he's just really kind of like I think the mask of like trying to keep everything together and cool is like kind of like slowly like coming off, and like it's getting to a point where it's just, dude, I just really want to do something.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm sure everyone else is also right there with you.
Right.
So do you guys want to kind of adjourn back to the tourism district and get the lay of the land and maybe get a rest and practice with your weapons?
Hmm.
Perfect. Let's do it. You guys take the trek back down the island, probably moving a bit quicker than normal because it's not anything to see around you. It's just, the path directly ahead of you, and it almost makes you feel kind of ill to look out at the horizon for the horizon not to be there. But you make it down to the tourism district, and you see people kind of just arrayed around, kind of like they're waiting for you guys to return. Everything is just kind of dim and dark and shadowed within the fog, and the people feel crowded in. But they see your new weapons, and smiles begin to brighten their faces. They know that this nightmare is getting close to its end, and some of the kids kind of oogle and gawk at the weapons. Some come up and try to touch Marius' shield. And
I'm
they
showing off all the details to them and like explaining like where it's from and.
Do you like light it up for them too with the light feature?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Very cute. And I think they're also trying to touch Bene and Calanthe's new swords. Whether or not they're allowed. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I kind of
No.
like no.
No sharp objects for children.
Yeah.
But Yasley steps to the front of the crowd, along with some of the other leaders of the island, as well as leaders from the groups of travelers. And she goes, we've about reached the end, for better or worse. 4 of you have done much, much, much to get us to this point, and no matter what happens, we want to thank you for spilling your blood for this island and those on it. Since you have to do it once more, we worked together and tried to scrounge up some more potions and whatever we could to kind of bolster you for what's to come. And then Yasley hands over to you guys 2 superior healing potions, 2 greater healing potions, and 2 potions of resistance.
Ooh.
So you guys are stacked now. And I think you guys had some 2 superior, 2 greater, and then 2 potions of resistance. I think you guys had a few left over from previously being given them as well. But you gotta be stacked going into the final fight.
Mm-hmm.
This is very generous of you.
Oh, for me, I believe it's the least we could do. And I think everyone probably agrees with me as well. She looks at Bene, and she's like, "Do you want to have a drink?"
Sure.
And she leads you away to the mayor's office. Or do any of you guys want to do anything before we cut to this scene really quick?
No.
Marius can hold on to the potions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What were the amounts and what kinds?
Yeah. It's 2 of each. So it's 2 superior
Okay.
healing potions, 2 greater healing potions, and then 2 potions of resistance.
Okay.
But yeah, Qell, Calanthe, anything before we cut to this? Okay, perfect. So Yasley leads you into the office, and she sighs and takes a seat behind the desk, and it's like, oh wait, and then she stands back up. She goes to like some side dresser or desk that the other mayor Desmond had, and kind of pulls out like a big bottle of alcohol from underneath it. She's like, there we go. She pours you a drink, and she pours herself a drink. She just kind of leans back in the chair and says, how are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. Things I think things on the island are finally coming to an end. I feel like we are really close to, stopping all of this nonsense that's been going on the island. I don't know. I feel very confident in our team to get this done and taken care of, and get back to life as usual.
Yeah. I feel confident in you and your team as well, and I appreciate your ability to always be looking on the bright side, because that is a skill to be honed as well as an innate gift that is priceless.
Well, yes, I can't. I must be honest with you. It's getting pretty hard, nowadays. It's kind of hard to smile. I feel like, don't you ever wonder, like, what are we really doing all this for? It's like, of course, this is my home, and I love you and everyone else on it, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, what are we doing? Like all of this fighting and like this island, like why? Like why?
Well, first off, you don't have to smile all the time, and I know that as the manager of the Golden Hour, the first mate, you are very good at keeping a smile on everyone's face, but there are times like now where it's, appropriate to acknowledge when spirits have fallen.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
Did Trell, I guess I'll ask this first, has Trell ever told you where he got his last name? It was the end of the war after the end of the world. We're closing in on it. We didn't know it yet. Calamine and Terrell and I were out at sea with our troop, attempting to get home after a brutal campaign. And we were ambushed by this contiguous navy, which had us outgunned and outmanned. Worse, they were being led by an elven general named Lucius Lumisco, who was renowned for never letting a ship escape his grasp, and rumored to have long ago been chosen by a contiguous god of light and given unnatural powers to bolster him and his fleet. You could almost see the glow coming off him in this kind of corona of light surrounding him, perhaps even blinding his enemies. But I'm sure you can imagine where the story is going to go from here, but he had boarded us, begun to pick off our crew one by one, and our captain, Bergron Grug, was dueling with General Lumisco. And Grug, this massive, gruff, orcish man, was the special favorite of Calamine, Terrell, and I, but most of all Terrell. And we watched him get cut down on the deck of that ship. Terrell at that time was a man who was just driven almost solely by anger. A war's worth of anger, almost ready to jump out of his skin at any moment. So of course, Terrell dispatches his current opponent and rushes screaming to fight Lumisco. It only took a few hits for him to get rebuffed. Even with all his Asmar power, he was sent flying in this explosion of light and landed over near Captain Grug. Calamine and I, fearing we just lost two friends, attempted to fight Lumisco together, and we managed our duel for a fair few minutes. And we're no slouches ourselves. But out of the corner of my eye, I saw Terrell stand up and listen to the final few words whispered from Captain Grug. And I have no idea what was said, but Grug passed his sword onto Terrell, and Terrell rose, and with a calm I had never seen in him before, a calm that was almost frightening, he pushed past the two of us and fought the General of Light. He fought this duel, the likes of which have never been seen before or since, and in the end, with one final stroke and an exhale of breath, Terrell ended it. The light seemed to fall from that man's shoulders and disappear on the wind. And the contiguous navy tried to fight, but Terrell, now a one-man army, ravaged boat after boat until they fled from a man who had made the light fall. And that sword that saved us that day so long ago is yours now. And she points at the sword that Terrell gave you years ago at this point, probably. She says, why do we do all of this? You have to defend the things that you love, the parts of you that make you who you are. And I think this island has probably more than anyone else made you who you are, Bene. And it's hard, and sometimes it's unfair how difficult it can be. And it's not, there are times where it's difficult to find a silver lining. But you are strong enough to both find silver linings in things and to acknowledge when things are just hard and you have to make it through to defend what you love. And
I agree.
you're so special, Bene.
Thank you. That is a truly bonkers story about Terrell, and I will be upset. And I will let him know that he should have told me this a long time ago. But
She
I
smiles
also-
and laughs. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you know, this island has definitely made me who I am, but I'm starting to question if I even know who I am anymore. You know, what am I even working towards? You know, I love this island and I will defend this island with my life, but I don't know. It's kind of like weird, you know, like the day in, day out, just on the ocean and on the beach. I love it. I love it more than anything in the world, but I'm afraid that I'm just rereading a chapter in my book of my life, book of my life, but I just keep reading this chapter, you know? And it's like I know how this chapter ends, and I kind of want to see what lies next, you know?
Golden hours always fade away eventually. But once this curtain of fog is drawn back from our island and you can see the horizon again, I know you'll see the path and the way and all of the chapters to come for you. But just know that I will always be thinking of you.
And I will always be thinking of you. He like reaches out and like clinks his glass.
Yeah. I imagine you guys take a shot together.
Yeah.
And then put it down. And I think with that, we can fade out of this scene unless there's anything else you want to say to her.
Nope.
All right. What's everyone else doing? Marius, do you have anything you're up to?
After kind of playing with the local children for a little bit, Marius just kind of goes kind of off to like look out at the ocean, just kind of by himself. He's just trying to keep his nerves in check. Just trying to keep cool.
What does Marius do to keep cool?
Watches the ocean.
Fair. Very, very fair. And the waves keep... Well, there are no waves. That's the thing. I mean, you're sitting on the side of a wall of fog, and there's kind of stagnant water in front of you. There's definitely something that's soothing, I think, about staring into the swirling tendrils of fog. And once you get like pretty close to it, you can still kind of hear that rushing of water behind it, but you have to get pretty close to hear it. Would Marius would he like for someone to... Does he look like he wants someone to speak with him, or does he look like he wants to be kind of left alone in this moment?
He's definitely kind of Irish exited his way away from everybody.
Definitely. Does Marius pray? I don't know if we've spoken about this before. I think that we talked about your relationship with your God and being kind of afraid. Yeah.
He does. But it's usually kind of impersonal. And I think what that usually amounts to is him just kind of solemnly meditating while watching the water. And so, considering that there's not much water to watch, I think right now he's kind of especially trying to reach out more than usual.
Yeah, definitely. You reach out to Lucian, the god of the lucent sea, the lucent ocean, and you feel the sand begin to kind of fall away around you, and it's just like little specks of sand. You can feel them kind of like grains of sand through your hand or through an hourglass, just kind of drift downwards, and up from below you, salt water begins to kind of blossom and grow out. And it, against all odds, seems to just be getting higher and higher and higher, even though you're on this beach. And as it crosses over your eyes, you are no longer on the beach, and you are in it looks like you're pretty far down in the ocean, and you're still breathing as if you were breathing air, but you're most certainly underwater, and everything around you, it's strange because it seems to be that you're in a bedroom, and there's all these accoutrements of like a normal bedroom, but it's entirely comprised of materials from the ocean. A dresser made of a large shell, seaweed framing a mirror that looks like sea glass, a rug of algae, and there's a bed made of coral. And in the bed, you see an old man who's not much taller or bigger than yourself. He's actually quite small. And he shimmers, and there's this bit of radiance around him, but it's timid and kind of like the flickering of a candle. He's immensely old, but you feel this deep well of strength that he has access to. And looking at him, you can probably assume who he is.
Well, I never expected to see you in the flesh.
Marius, it's good to see you and hear from you, my boy. I hope you don't mind that I took the opportunity of you reaching out to speak with you as closely as we could.
I do appreciate that.
Marius, I wish there was more I could offer you.
Yeah. Feels like I'm going up against everything right now. It seems like you can only be so much of help.
That is true. And I know that I've only been watching from a distance and I can't imagine what you've been facing, but my boy, I have to admit to you that I am scared of Oceanus and what he could be, the god of all oceans.
Right.
I can only imagine that he would do away with me.
That's like your whole turf. So that's it's a problem.
And I don't believe we've ever spoken face to face. And I wanted to take this opportunity to meet you because you have faced more than many and you've shown yourself admirably capable of meeting the darkest of challenges. And I wanted to give you just one small thing. And he's holding something in his hand.
And what is that?
He holds it out to you. It's a bottle filled with something.
Marius takes it, examines it.
Do you want to do an insight check to see if you know what it is?
Sure. 25.
Nice. This is a potion of heroism. And it will essentially, you'll be blessed. If you choose to take it, you'll be blessed for about an hour without having to hold concentration, as well as, I believe, gain 10 temporary hit points. And there may be one other thing as well. It is but a trifle, but you are a hero, and you don't need a potion to bolster that within yourself.
Well, I'll take what I can get right now. I appreciate it. Thank you. I mean that.
And once this wall of fog is lifted, you know that the loosened ocean will welcome you back with all the warmth and grandeur it can manage. A hero's welcome.
I can't imagine it'll be very warm. Always a little bit cold, I'm being honest. But, you know, what's one to expect?
From the ocean. My blessings go with you. You have all that you need. Good luck.
Thank you.
And the water begins to drain off of your eyes, and you're once again sitting on the beach staring at a wall of fog.
Marius
Anything?
swallows and gets up and goes back to find where his friends are.
Amazing. Whew. Qell. Calanthe and Qell, what do you guys do as people start to kind of disperse from this meeting in the town center?
Is the walking cave still available? Has it been misted over yet?
You could make it there. Since it's the fog seems to stop just short of like the island itself. So since it's within the island, you can definitely get there.
So the water will flow into the cave and like back out just enough for you to get out and go back to land. But shortly after the mouth of the cave, the fog is there.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. So Qell still got his new sword out. He hasn't like vanished it away yet, which like usually he would have done before recently. So he goes up to Calanthe. He says, Calanthe, do you have a moment?
Sure.
How shall I put it? Your new connection to Gordios in many ways constitutes a connection to all Ashapmar. While I, of course, will never expect you to change your ways into ours, I feel a responsibility. Not responsibility. I feel a desire to share with you something of us, or of me. And I would like to try and show you something, if you would.
All right. Lead on.
So he'll walk the two of you, us, to the walking cave, kind of finagle our way into there and stay like along the sides of the sort of spoon of river and then pool, and then get to sort of the mouth of it, to the back of this cave. And as we get there, he keeps the sword, but he sort of lays it down. Instead of disappearing it, he puts it down on the land, like away from the water, so it's not touching the water yet. And he reaches up to unbuckle his snail armor, and he takes it off and reveals that the big scar from the kraken, and he puts that down. He begins to walk a little bit closer to the water, and he reaches down to his pants, but then he stops and he looks back at you and he goes, would you perhaps turn away for a moment if you...
Calanthe sort of crosses her arms and leans up against the back of the cave, looks down, looks up in his eyes, and doesn't turn around, just like turns her face.
Hot.
So, okay, yeah. So then he'll like fully disrobe, and then he'll do what he did before. He'll like wade down. I imagine it like slopes gently into the water at the like spoon part of the spoon. So he'll take his sword back into his hands, but keep it above the level of the water. And he walks as far into it as like sort of up to waist level. And then he says, all right.
What?
You can look again if you please.
You naked. You're naked under there.
This is a something of a cleansing, but what it truly is to acknowledge a place within the cycle of all life. And he's holding his sword out maybe an inch above, with the flat of the blades like an inch above the water's surface. And you see as he holds it there, tendrils of water from the surface of the pool are like anti-gravity snaking up to try and like touch the sword, but they're just creating sort of a layer, like a film around it. Like it's not quite touching, but it wants to make that connection.
Yes.
And he reaches out a hand up towards you for you to take.
Oh boy. I think Calanthe, ever the goblin she may be, is just going to like look at his hand and say, well, if you get to be naked, I get to be naked too, and start taking off all of her clothes.
He immediately looks away and he goes, please do not misunderstand. I am not asking anything of you. I simply wished for you to join me here in the water.
Too late. Like it was, by the time he's finished saying that, she's already naked in the water.
Okay. Do you take his hand?
Yes.
Okay. So as he holds your hand, he lets the sword get a little bit closer to the water. But he like keeps his eyes fixed on yours, and he says, shock, it is life, but that takes many, many forms. Life, as we know, began in the ocean, crawled up onto land, and eventually became us. We all shifted, grew, and changed, became creatures who feel and think and move in wonderful, sometimes terrible, sometimes beautiful ways. And all of those thoughts and feelings and movements, they manifest as our ability to cry, to bleed, to sweat. Everything that we think and feel returns to the earth as water. And he squeezes your hand, and he lowers the sword all the way into the water. And he says, everything we take, we give back. And everything we give is returned to us again. And he begins to do the thing that he does after he's been fighting, now that he has that life drinker ability. He, in his mind at least, is returning the life force that his sword drank, returning the shock within his belief system back to the sea. And as he's doing it, that sort of static anti-gravity feeling of the water coming up and sort of swirling around him. What I'm hoping, at least, or what Qell is hoping, is that you will feel the sensation of becoming one with water that he feels when he does this.
Mm.
And that feeling of connecting to Guardios and tapping into new power. I don't know if you do feel it. I think that's an Eric question.
Yeah.
Sorry, my mind immediately went, are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Yeah, I think you are, and I think you guys both hear in your head, and you can tell that Guardios is speaking to both of you. They say, Qell, how would it feel to share the spotlight with someone else? And not just Calanthe, but other Ashak Mar as well.
I think sunlight was never so selfish as to shine upon only one.
And to Calanthe, they say, child, I feel your heart longing to return to the sea, to be one with the wind and the waves once more, just as your mother was. But what if you could become part of the ocean, and the wind and the waves? Would you?
I mean, yes, it's been my life for my whole life. Yes, of course.
They give this kind of contented sigh, and they say, "You care deeply for those you love, and you protect them with your blood, and you weep when they are lost. You can lead, but you can also listen. There's very little else I could want in a chosen bridge between the Ashakmar and the Drylanders."
I will not fail you.
Come to the Garden of Blades tomorrow, before you descend into the door. And if you end up descending before then, come before that.
All right. Yes. Yes, sir. I don't know if you have an honorific.
You don't need to use an honorific with someone who you're a part of. I will see the both of you tomorrow. Or rather, feel the both of you tomorrow in the Blade Garden. And the connection never cuts out. You can always feel them just right on the edge, but they do kind of like fall silent now.
They sort of like step back.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think as they recede, the warmth of this sort of ritual begins to recede as well, and the temperature of the pool returns to normal. And he pulls the blade up and it drips like normal, no more weird like anti-gravity stuff. And he just breathes in and back out. And he says, I don't believe I ever told you where this comes from, have I?
No.
The Blade Garden, where we will visit tomorrow, is a sacred place to us. I spend many nights there when I must reflect on the relationship between my past and my future. It is where Guardios creates for us bodies made from their own. A shell reminiscent of our own bodies we had in life, prepared for us when someone like me is to die. My spirit will go to that body, and a part of me will remain there to train the next. But now that there will be many of us, I do not know how this will change. It should be interesting to find out. But the body of the one who trained me, a man who is very much like a father to me. I feel him here, in his arms. And his teacher, and theirs before that. Pieces all adding up. And I will give back when it is my time. And then he disappears the sword, and he'll reach up and he'll sort of brush back behind your ear and come around to that place of intimacy behind your neck. And he'll say, "You are precious to this world. And the world has placed me in your path, and you in mine. And so you are precious to me as well."
I think when he says that, I think it's like sort of like been bubbling for the past few episodes. I think it just, it overflows, and I think she just fully just like lunges at him and kisses him.
Yeah. And as it all goes off, I think immediately,
It's all
like
going up.
as you start kissing him and things start happening, the light, that dull glow of his tendrils, it flares up like extremely bright, and that little like middle, almost crown looking part. I don't know if you guys have seen like in his art, but there's that one kind of white part that comes up here on his head. That glows like bright, like electric pink, and 7 other like smaller tendrils on his head all light up that same color. Light travels down it, and then at the peaks, and then 7 points of light like little stars shoot out of his head in 7 different directions, manifesting his crown of stars ability for the first time. He pulls back and he looks at it, and he just goes, and then he like goes back in, and then he looks back. He points a finger and he casts darkness from the mouth of the cave all the way down to the
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
and then a tasteful cutaway.
Yes. Tasteful cutaway. Why is my heart racing?
I'm not in a cave where it echoes.
Hey. Hey, but the cave's far away from everything else. Tasteful cutaway. Very kind of like Star Wars fade across the screen.
Wipe.
One wipe, absolutely. And is there anything anyone else would like to do that day? Because otherwise we can call it and adjourn to the next morning. I guess Bene and Marius is specifically who I'm talking to.
Marius
Maybe-
definitely stays by himself for the rest of the day. Just kind of walking around the island and just kind of thinking.
Incredible. Does Bene do something similar?
Benny goes and Benny goes and starts getting like preparations for the party.
Amazing. You go around and you're checking everything. Derringer Fellows will come and like catch you up to speed on what he's already acquired, and you guys start to direct people to reset some stuff up, and the visitors even are just very pleased to have a job to do and not to be sitting around and not doing anything.
Right. Benny kind of is like basically like Leslie Note. You know, he's just like very much like, okay, I need you to do this. Okay, cool. I need to, can someone get me a drink? Thank you. I need for everyone over here. I need you guys up here on the streamers. I don't know you, but do something. Thank you. Love it, everyone.
Just doing jumping jacks.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, I feel like Bene is standing in the town center absolutely still and just turning in a circle and being like, you do this, you do that.
Right.
And yeah, you're getting ample drinks brought to you.
Yeah. And I'm like helping as well. I'm doing.
Oh yeah,
I'm not
definitely.
just, telling people what to do, but kind of leading.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Perfect. So I think that night eventually falls. Basically everything for the party is set up. I imagine you guys each return to Benny's house either together or by yourselves, and sleep through the night to prepare for what's coming tomorrow. It's morning. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Calanthe makes a tasty hero's feast breakfast for everyone using her final of her 2 paired chalices.
Amazing.
So let's see. Let's remember what hero's feast does. 1 hour to consume. Cured of all diseases and poisons, become immune to poison and being frightened, and makes all wisdom saving throws with advantage. Hit point max also increases by 2d10, and it gains the same number of hit points. Okay, so let me roll 2d10 while we do that. So everyone gets 15 hit points, and their hit point max goes up by 15.
Wow. That's tight as hell.
I thought it was 1d10, but apparently it's not.
the most hit points Qell has ever had in his life.
Benny
Yeah, you guys get.
Benny
Yeah,
sees
go
that
ahead,
you're
sir.
like cooking and like doing all this stuff. Like Benny kind of like stumbles into the kitchen and sees you doing this, and he just kind of looks at you. He goes, "You look different. Something's different about you."
I mean, definitely her hair is like fully out and flowing. No longer is any part of it in braids. Maybe
Hell yeah.
she's a little shinier. Like it looks like she has like highlighter all over her skin or something.
Benny's like, no, it's not a physical thing. Something is different about you.
Qell walks by in the background, covered in bite marks. Good morning, Benny. And then he goes.
Wait,
Can I roll
both
an
of you,
insight
both
check?
of roll an insight check. Both of you roll deception at disadvantage. At least Qell roll. At least Qell
He's not
roll at
trying.
disadvantage. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, Galanthe's not that.
He just
trying
walked
that
by.
hard.
Okay.
But let's just do it because it's fun. Oh no!
I rolled a 19 on the die.
Holy
Oh, yeah,
shit!
no.
8.
I also
You
rolled
not
a
only-
natural 8.
You not
Wow.
only know that they boned, you know that they did it in the cave because you can see sand falling off of them.
Right.
There's sand and like a little bit of sand in Calanthe's hair. And I'm trying to think of anything else you would know. What,
Benny,
Benny?
Benny, like, Benny's like looking at the two of them. He's like, I knew y'all should use the water bedroom. I knew it. I knew it.
I mean,
Love it.
we
I
weren't.
love that for you.
We weren't going to do it while the two of ye sleep.
I
You
mean,
know, not with a child in the house. Are you kidding me? And she's like,
You're
you know,
just a
her-
child.
her tone is like the
At
same
that
dry.
Marius walks in,
Yeah,
very confused.
but she is like beaming a little bit.
You love it.
What's happening?
you'll learn about this when you get older.
Go on.
Qell, are you okay?
Should I not be? What?
Are you,
Are you okay?
did you get attacked by something?
No, we. And then there's a look on his face like, I'm from a culture of people who are really not puritanical about sex at all,
I mean, Calanthe.
but
is
he
a
doesn't
dude.
know what is appropriate here. So he like looks at Calanthe and then looks back at him and then back at Calanthe and then back at him. I don't think he's learning anything about what he should say.
I'm gonna go.
You're a smart
delete.
boy. Let's
These
leave it
eggs
at
are
that. You can
delicious.
figure
Walks
it
out
out.
of the room. Just gonna.
Incredible. I love it.
I think Qell only walked by in the background on his way to go somewhere
He, like,
else,
stops.
and then heard this conversation happening. Right? I think because he only sleeps 4 hours, he spent the rest of the time just getting fish. He was just fishing a little
Nice.
bit in that little cave.
Here, take
So
this
just like
fish.
little fish that you would get in a cave, and he brings them back, and he's like barbecuing them outside.
Yeah, and I think they go into the hero's feast, and it's all
Yeah.
good. And you guys gather around for a meal. You guys look around and you're like, over the past week, we've fought Kuatoa, undead pirates, a blue dragon, a bunch of weird stuff in a tide pool maze, a monster lighthouse, a kraken, and defended a fort in a marsh. And fought a bunch of like octopus ladies. You've gone through a lot together, and this is the final few moments before you finish this thing. Does anyone have anything to say to anyone else? Or you're just vibing with each other's company?
I think Carlson comes to eat the hero's feast too, just so he's immune to the fear
Oh, yeah.
condition, so he doesn't get stressed out about what we're gonna do.
Oh,
Oh.
But I think just in general, Calanthe is just like uber like just checking everything, checking she has all the spell components, she has all of her weapons, she has like her armor, blah 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 blah. Like she's just really, and she's really focusing down, you know, what spells she should take this morning, you know, as she
Mhm.
sort of thinks about everything that just happened in the past like 18 hours. um
Hell yeah. Continue to get ready. You guys eat the hero's feast and start to probably wrap up. Do you guys want to head just straight for the door?
well, we do have an appointment to keep with Guardios.
Oh gosh, my immediate memory recall is so poor. I think I think you guys eat the hero's feast really quick, and then I think Benny and Marius have a final Margarita Bros moment.
Yeah, and that's a big deal, honestly, too. Like, Qell is sitting there just smiling, and he's looking around and he thinks about his whole life. Like, it all just sort of flashes in his mind of being very young and then being, you know, having no real direction and no one really knowing what to do with him, being kind of a troublemaker, and then being chosen, being, you know, as all kids are in Ashokmar culture, taken away from his like biological parents and put with people who are going to train him, forming a bond with his person, falling in love with human culture, every battle he's ever won, battles he's lost, and like his whole life of sitting at the head of a table and just feeling like he's supposed to be better than other people. And now sitting and on equal ground, looking around at these people that he loves genuinely, and knowing that he's about to bring someone who is not an Ashokmar to the place that really made him who he is after all these years of wanting this, but now really fully understanding what that means. Something just explodes a little bit, and tears run down, and he raises his glass and he toasts toward Benny and nods his head.
Raises him, you know, welcome, you know, not welcome, but confirms everyone's welcome, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think you guys continue to enjoy your drinks. Eventually, Qell and Calanthe head out. You guys make your way to the cave in which Guardios is being hidden, and you swim through that darkness of the cave. It's kind of silent, like the water isn't lapping too much. You're just moving silently through dark water, and Calanthe, eventually you see you've been in this cave and you've seen Guardios a little bit before, but Guardios diminished in whatever level they can be diminished, but still beautiful and vast within this cave. But this will be the first time that Calanthe experiences swimming through Guardios and feeling as if you're being guided to the place you're meant to be. And very, very soon you make it to the Blade Garden, where you see all of the Ashokmar, as well as the Council of the Coral Keep, kind of arrayed around.
I think very much like I'm being brought to the family reunion barbecue cookout. Like there's so many people here. It's like, hello. And I think just instinctually she like takes Quell's hand and like kind of moves behind him, like, what the fuck? I wasn't expecting this.
I love that. I love that so much.
Because also it's like a sea of dark blue people who in this darkened cave almost blend in with the rest of the cave. And then also like shiny black eyes, just like a sea of them looking at her like big and wide, and she's like, hi.
It's a vibe,
Yeah.
certainly. Yeah. I think Guardia starts to speak to you. Can tell that they're speaking in everyone's head, and they say, "Today will change much about the Ashok Mar and their relationship with me and our livelihood in this world. I've spoken with Qell and Ian, stop me if this is too much. I have spoken with Qell, and we have decided that he shall be the last sole chosen protector of Bardios. We will be bringing a drylander, Calanthe, into the fold to act as a bridge between the Ashok Mar and those in the land. But not only that, I will be extending my powers and my general communication to each of you, Ashok Mar. There will no longer only be one person who can communicate intimately, directly with Guardios. You will all have that connection with me. And if you want to be a chosen one, you can be a chosen one and receive my blessings and my powers. But you can also pursue whatever would make you happiest and live the most fulfilled life possible. I think there's like a space where the coral starts glowing, and I think it's clear that the two of you are supposed to step into it.
Okay. Would does this connection that's forming is it gonna give Calanthe like Ashok understanding, like language wise?
Language wise, I think she will have the language. I think that there will still be the process of picking up culture will still have to happen.
It's more like an auto descrambling
exactly
from Guardios upon hearing it.
It's not this, it's not this like massive collection of knowledge that suddenly she's given. It's just the ability to descramble the powers from Guardios, but the actual parts of the culture need to be learned.
Okay. So feeling that Guardios will translate then.
Exactly.
If
that's a better way to describe it.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know, descrambling.
That's a good way to describe it.
So I think he'll step up with Calanthe's hand in hand and like raise hands like up together, and he'll say to everyone, today we choose ourselves and each other.
And everyone starts clapping. The whole Council of the Coral Keep is there, and you can tell that they do approve. They've also spoken with Guardios about it. Treg, Police, Lanok, Shelka, all of them. And of course Amados isn't there, but he may be soon. And Guardios finishes by saying, there may be other drylanders who join our fold and learn about our culture at some point, but they will all be chosen by me. Calanthe is the first, but there may be others. Only time will tell us to when. Everyone claps and everything is good. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and at that, Calanthe sort of steps forward and just says, it is my honor to be chosen for this. I will not fail ye. I know I have bit of a reputation of being a troublemaker in the past, but I do not take this lightly, and I look forward to working with and for you. And she sort of like bows really like dramatically, genuinely,
And
but dramatically.
At you saying that, the light that you guys are standing on becomes even brighter and begins to illuminate the whole room, and the kind of the pink of the coral surrounding you is refracting back onto you guys. It's like this giant, massive illumination, and everyone is brought into the light, and it feels warm, and after a while it fades and you guys are brought back to darkness. But other Ashokmar begin to come up and shake hands with you, Calanthe, and greet you and introduce themselves. And it is definitely that there are so many people, and
It's
I'm
just
not
like,
going to remember any of your names, but I'm going to
yeah.
try so hard. But you'll have time to learn their names in the future. And with that, I think Bene and Marius, you just head out eventually to the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. You finish your margaritas, slam them down, and go out together. I think Qell and Calanthe are brought on a very small wave that Guardios is able to kind of conjure out of just the little water that's there, and kind of trolleyed around the island back to the back beach, or trolleyed closer to the back beach, while still staying on the line of fog. And Bene and Marius come from the land, you guys come from the sea, and you meet at the door, and you look down into it.
Calanthe.
We're gonna die?
What? What? Why would you say that?
I don't know. Do you think we're gonna die?
No.
It's a possibility.
Listen, I talked to Ocean Anus in my head. He's a loser.
I know, but
We're going to destroy him.
I hope we do.
I think Calanthe takes Marius by the shoulders and is just looks him dead in the eye and says, "We're going to destroy him." And then pulls him into a big hug for a second. Gives him a little smack on the forehead. And does the same with Bene.
We're gonna destroy.
Cute. I love it. Yeah, and I think do you guys go in?
With that bit of courage, I hop in.
Hey.
Yeah, Marius. So the four of you head down these basalt stairs in front of you, just as you did about a week ago. And again, you reach this realm of water, endless night sky above you with a single brilliant moon, a surface of scintillating, shifting ocean, and there's no wind. There's just the smell of salt air and the rustle of water almost against itself. And once again, almost imperceptibly, the moon begins to fall from the sky. But it's going much slower than last time, and out of a whirling tide pool in front of you comes the form of Preacher Gerald Bluebond, Priam Soldagast Locklaway. Whatever magic or makeup he was using to hide the fact that he was a half-elf for so many years is gone. You can see kind of his more half-elven features. And he looks at you and says, "First off, Let me thank you all for making it all this way and for bringing those 4 beautiful weapons with you. I was only guessing at whether or not a curse like this would actually, bring them up to the surface, as it were, but my hunch paid off. And I'll give you a chance to raise the white flag now, if you'd like. Otherwise, you will most assuredly be not leaving with your lives.
I make a show of I pound my chest once and I cast Long Strider on myself, but making a show that I'm casting a spell on myself, just staring at him.
And I take out my potion of heroism. And glug 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 glug, and I chuck the the glass bottle.
You yeet the bottle at him?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I just
love
shrug
that.
my shoulders, and Crown of Stars happens again, but this time controlled by him. And those 7 points of light again travel down his tendrils, hit the points, and then float up, and then just begin to circle as 7 points of stars above his head. And then he smiles with all of his sharp teeth exposed.
I can tell that you all want to be strong. And I want to be strong too. That's why I'm here. Bigger tools bring better results, and I'm looking at the 4 best weapons in the world. Let's not waste any time. Bene, I've known you since you were a child. You've always been an urchin. Qell, I've killed heroes, and you're barely more than a footnote. Calanthe, I'll make sure that when I kill your mother, she knows that her weak landlubber daughter was too helpless to stop the world from ending. And you, reporter, you better hope your god loves you. And with that, roll initiative for me. And you guys can respond to him if you want.
I think Calanthe says, "Big talk for such a little man. Let's see if the bite matches the bark."
Hell yeah. And he prepares for battle. So what did everyone get on initiative? And feel free to move yourself around the board as well, too, if you think you'd be placed somewhere else.
12.
12.
Oh.
Well, with the 12,
Probably be
Bene.
I
here.
had 22.
22. Tight.
18 on the die.
Calanthe.
21. Sorry, 21.
21. Okay.
I think
I
I got a 19.
Awesome.
A
Marius?
19.
You got a 10.
19. 10. Got it. Sounds good to me. Bene, what is your dex?
+3.
Ooh, don't like that question ever. I don't like that
Ooh,
question.
okay. You almost went first.
Okay.
I love that the water is moving.
Yeah, that's what.
It's really
yeah.
cool.
I was pretty stoked on it. All right. So starting off at the top of the initiative is Priam, unfortunately, who is going to bonus action. You see up from the water just comes some surprisingly even darker water. So it's just like black sludge emanating around him in a 30-foot radius. That's his bonus action.
Sick.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So that is his bonus action, but for his action, he is going to point at, let's see if he has to actually get closer for the spell. 60 feet, yeah. He does move a few feet closer. 1, 2, 3 up, I think. Yeah, we need to move up one more. And then he's going to point past Calanthe at Marius.
You
And
bastard.
he is going to cast an 8th level spell, Maze. You banish a creature you see within range into a labyrinth demiplane. The target remains there for the duration or until it escapes the maze. The target can use its action to attempt to escape. When it does so, it makes a DC 20 intelligence check. If it succeeds, it escapes, and the spell ends. He points past you guys. You look back. You see Marius gets this wall of water comes up and then drops down, and he's gone. And Marius, you drop into this curving, endless hallway of water just looming over you. It's like an aquarium, like the tunnel in an aquarium, but not fun.
But not awesome.
Decidedly spooky.
That sucks.
It does suck. And that is the end of his turn, so it moves on down to Bene.
Whoa, you said there's a 30-foot...
He does have a 30-foot aura around him. You're just at the edge of that.
Right.
Qell and Calanthe are within it now.
Is it dark? Like what is it?
It's just it seems like a puddle within this water. It's like extra. It's definitely liquid, but it's just dark, viscous sludge. It's the sludge you've been seeing all over the place.
Gotcha.
It's 30 feet around him, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
For right now, I'm just gonna shoot him with.
Sounds good.
The first. Did the 13 hit?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. Second attack does a 19.
Unfortunately, also no. It just barely misses.
Okay. That will be it for my turn.
Sounds good to me. Now we move on down to Calanthe.
Okay, shit. Right. I am going to cast Fairy Fire on him.
Sounds good.
So I need him to make a dex saving throw.
Got it. He gets a 17.
Damn it! Okay.
Sorry.
And that's my turn. Wait, okay. Within a 30 foot, you said?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to step back out of it and onto this rock over here.
Okay.
And then
sounds
that's
good
my
to
turn.
Me, perfect. Then we move on down to Qell.
Yeah, I'll also get up on the rock and out of the poo-poo barrier. And I'll get over
Nice.
here. Am I out of it? Yeah, 10, 15, 20, 20. I'm barely out of it now. I could get further, but I don't want to get too much further. Okay, so he's got the double-sided out. So as he spins it around,
Sorry,
he just
I'm
starts...
so sorry.
Yeah.
You both have to make dexterity saving throws. You and Calanthe. Well, Calanthe.
17.
15. Fuck.
You are pushed 10 feet back and knocked prone.
Me?
Yeah, both of you. Whenever you move within the thing, he gets to push you back. If
Okay.
he passes dexterity saving throw. So you move back 10 feet,
Okay.
Which was...
which I think amounts to the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I
Oh,
only moved
sorry.
about 10. Yeah, I moved 10 feet because I was
Okay.
here. I was in this corner. So that's fine. I stand
Got
up,
it, okay.
I guess, and to do that. And
Absolutely, yeah.
So he starts spinning the double-sided staff,
Uh-huh.
and he then I think he's like painting water into the shapes of Eldritch Blasts that hang in front of him. There's like 3 of him, and then once they're there, he like 1, 2, 3 like bats them at this guy.
Hell yes.
So 3 Eldritch
roll
Blasts.
those attacks on me.
Okay. 18,
Does not hit, unfortunately.
dirty 20,
That hits.
and 13.
Does not hit.
Okay.
We
so
do hit
one-
with one of those.
Okay, that's how much, so 13 points of damage.
Sounds good to me.
from one of those. I'm not going to Hexblades curse him because I only get one of those, and this is only stage 1. So I'm not
Gotcha.
doing that yet. I will, however, take a shot at I'll expel one of the stars toward him
Mhm.
and see if I can hit him
Gotcha.
with that.
Okay.
So this
The
is
first
from-
Eldritch Blast hits him and he goes, ugh. So you want to play? And then, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
25 to
stars.
hit with one of the stars.
Definitely hits.
Okay, so here
Roll
comes
that damage.
4d12 damage.
What was that you just said? 4d12?
It's 4d12 damage when he gets hit with one of the stars.
Woo!
Wow.
And you got 6 of them?
I got 7 total. 6 now.
Woo!
So
Okay.
9, 18, 22. I got 3 9s. Yay. So
Damn,
9 times
hell
3
yeah.
is 27.
27.
27, 9, 30, 31. So 31 points of damage. As I think what happens is his tendrils, like one of them like kicks up and like points and like shoots one of the stars. I think they like he whips his little tendrils and one of the stars like shoots out. And I think it sails toward this guy like a shooting star and then just detonates and has this like flashbang, like because these things shed bright light for 30 feet
Damn.
in general. So Qell is like a fucking beacon down here already anyway. So he just shoots this like sunlight bullet at this man.
You know those bombs that Jango Fett shoots out in
It's
episode?
literally
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking.
The
It explodes. There's like a second delay, and then it's like, yeah, it's exactly that.
Hell yes. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, it is.
What was that damage again?
It was
30 something?
27,
32?
30, 31. 31.
31. Okay, got it. So that'll bring us down to.
I like Crown of Stars.
God, I forgot how math works. Yeah, that's right. Okay, now we move down to Marius.
Okay.
Marius, you are preparing to fight, and then you immediately water comes up and comes down, and you are now just in another world of water that is
Right.
cathedraled over you.
Can I make an Arcana check to see if I were to use True Seeing, if I would be able to determine from that how to get out?
Absolutely, yeah, go for it. You could also just do an Arcana check to try to figure out how to get out.
Right. It'll be both of those things.
Got it, okay.
9.
Unfortunately, you're so flustered that you're kind of unable to figure out even what's happening at this point.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna cast it anyway.
For sure, yeah, absolutely, go for it.
With it, I can see invisible doors.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So he kind of takes out an ointment and rubs his eyes with it, and then his eyes are like glowing.
Ooh, that's sick. I do not know how these spells should interact with one another. What I'm gonna say is I'm gonna give you advantage on getting out from now on. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
That would be, I think, because it's an action.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds good to me. We are going to now. Yeah. You see Lockaway just drop into the puddle, and he's gone. Until he emerges again right here. And that is his bonus action. Now he is going to point at Qell, who's just done him a substantial amount of damage for what he has, and he is going to cast Finger of Death. So, Finger of Death. You send negative energy coursing through a creature that you can see within range, causing it searing pain. The target must make a Constitution saving throw. It takes 7d8 plus 30 necrotic damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one.
This feels like I should try to counterspell it. So I'll try to.
He counterspells your counterspell.
Oof.
Which I have learned from the last episode is something you can do.
It is.
Okay. So that's one spell slot down.
He's burning through his spell slots quick too.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So give me that con save, please.
Oh, that's a natural 19 at least. Confirm.
I trust you.
So 21.
You do pass that, actually.
Oh god.
Just by the skin of your teeth.
That was gorgeous.
So you take half that damage, so you take 31 points of damage. And that is the end of Priam's turn, so we move on down to Bene again.
35.
Give me a dex saving throw really quick, please.
Cool. I have advantage on that.
Perfect.
This 19.
You are pushed 10 feet back and fall prone.
So I'll say this over at least 20.
It's at least 20.
Tight.
How would you throw up that character sheet, my guy?
You want to see it? You want me to share a screen? Maybe I'll share a screen.
Okay. I think that's my turn then.
All right, we move on down to Calanthe.
Okay, so I have a question about his difficult terrain knocking prone thing. Are tentacles coming up out of it? Or is it
It's
sort of like
walls of water. Actually, no, tentacles is a much cooler aesthetic.
my
It's
question?
tentacles coming up and
Yes.
hitting you in the chest. Yeah.
My question is, and I can roll for this if you want. Does it seem like this is based on if you're on the ground, that if you're sharing ground with him and you try to approach him, like would flying incur such effects?
Roll me Arcana.
All right. Okay.
Please.
It's not my best. 11. Shit.
You're unsure. You think flying is an option?
Flying is an option. Excuse me while I look at the challenge ratings of animals. I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there any reason to believe that I've seen dinosaurs before?
What you're really asking me is, does this world contain dinosaurs? And I have to say yes, because why not?
You know,
No to that, really.
Yeah, dinosaurs are it.
Let's fucking go ham. Why not? I'm gonna polymorph into a T-Rex.
Hey, that sounds good to me. Can you do anything else in your turn after that?
Let's see. Polymorph is the action. You know that. Yes. Ba 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 ba. Beep bop boop. Let's see. What does the T-Rex have? Because I have it right here. No. I do become huge though. Size category huge. So just so I don't crush my friends, I'm gonna try to move in front of them, like here.
Okay.
And I will make that
Dex saving throw.
dex saving throw.
Thank
But
you.
if I get pushed back, I'll get pushed back like I won't land on them because it happens like when I
Perfect.
try to move, right? So like I won't
Yeah, yeah.
land on them. Okay, so that's a +7. Wait, is it dex or is it a strength?
It's dex saving throw, please.
Uh-oh. No, I fall down on my little dinosaur butt.
Yeah, you get just it's strangely cute for T-Rex to be pushed back and then fall on his butt. There, bud.
That happens at the start of your turn if you're in the radius, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Which I'm
and
now out of
Is that the
it.
end of your turn?
Yes.
Tight. We move on down to Qell.
So do I get pushed first?
It's whenever you move within the radius.
Okay. 10, 15. Got it. So I'm currently in it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. So he clearly doesn't want to be near me, so I'm going to get near him. And I go up here.
Sounds good. Okay, maybe that dex saving throw, please.
Ooh, natural 1.
Ooh.
Nope.
Bro. Yeah, you get pushed back 10 feet, fall on your butt. But you solve your action and bonus action.
Okay. How much movement did I? Well, it doesn't matter because it takes half movement just to get back up, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he probably used about half to get up to him, and then it's fine if you want to use half to get up from there.
Okay. That's fine. There's other ways to get close. 3 more Eldritch Blasts.
Go for it.
I fully thought it was a strength save. I was wrong.
28, 22.
That
16.
passes.
So
sorry. Oh, those are 20, 28, 22, 16. 2 of those hit.
Yep. Okay, 2 is good. 2 is
Yeah, 2 is
better than
great.
1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Roll me that damage, please.
So that's going to be 2d10 plus 10. 9 and a 6. So 15 plus 10 is 25. So 25 points of damage.
Ooh, he takes those and he goes, oh! Ah! He's looking hurt. And the little tentacles of the water seem to be coming up and like wrapping around his leg.
I'm not going to...
You said 25, correct?
Yes. I'm not going to use another star at the moment.
Okay.
But I am going to use my ability, since I hit him with my Eldritch Blast, I'm going to pull him 15 feet close to me. He's only got 10 feet, so he ends up like right in front of me.
Gotcha, okay. Perfect. He is now in front of you. And he's not pleased about it.
That's where I want him.
All right. So now we move down to Marius. So the saving throw that you will have to make is an intelligence one.
Okay.
So you have this at advantage. And you also have the bless from the potion of heroism.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have a D4
Yeah.
as well, so
Perfect, yeah.
I will roll with advantage. Wait, why can't I find where to select that?
Why can't I find where to select that?
That's what I'm trying to know. Okay, I'm just gonna roll. Oh yeah, I have it set to roll twice. Okay.
Oh, tight, okay.
Intelligence. 11 plus, so 14.
Damn.
Unfortunately, you don't pass. You keep wandering around this maze, just the sound of water beating down on you.
Oh man.
So much.
Trying to find your way back to your friends, but you're not quite able to make it. Sorry about that.
Do I run into a minotaur?
No.
A water minotaur?
Something that's noted within this spell is that a minotaur or Goristro demon automatically succeed in exiting the maze, which I think is fun.
That makes sense.
That's
Checks
epic.
out.
Yeah.
All right. So at the end of Marius' turn, we move back up to Priam, who is not stoked that Qell is right in front of him. So he is going to. He's going to cast a Cone of Cold on all of y'all. Let me remember how Cone of Cold works.
Constitution saving throw.
If the three of you, Marius is not technically there. If Qell, Bene, and Calanthe could give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Dirty
yeah.
20.
Dirty 20, that passes.
21.
These dice that
That
Sam
also
gave me
passes?
are rolling amazing.
Hell yeah.
It's dice that you're given. They always roll the best.
I know, it's these cool
Um,
purple ones.
Hell yeah. Bene, could you give me that con saving throw as well, please?
I need it. 22.
22. Oh, you all pass. Hell yeah.
18
So
on the die.
you love to see it. So let me roll. You take half damage on that. So Priam reaches out his hands, and out of them, after getting hit by Qell so hard and like brought towards him, he puts his hands up in Quell's face and like does this, and a cold of ice, cold wind pops out and pushes you guys. You take 18 points of damage.
Cool.
And then he is going to bonus action move himself again. So he is now going to do a little bit of a retreat, and he's going to plop down in the water and show up over here.
It's a new round, right?
Yes, it's now a new round.
Can I opportunity attack him, or did he teleport?
It's an ability he has. I think it's kind of like a teleport.
Okay. So not an opportunity attack situation.
We'll do opportunity attack. Like if I were to Misty step away from you, would you get an opportunity attack on that still?
No.
I usually rule no. And
okay, then no.
We've been playing it no when I do it. So it seems
Okay.
fair that if he Misty stepped, that I shouldn't get one.
Yeah. But that's the end of his turn. We move on down to Bene.
So, okay.
He's really struggling. He's struggling hard.
I'm gonna just shoot him with arrows.
Go for it. Give me those rolls.
Close anyway. That is a not nat 20 to hit.
That it?
Cool. Love it.
Love to see it.
I rolled a 12, but I'm a +8.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool. So my first one's gonna be 5 points of damage.
That hurts him.
Okay. And then second
Go for
arrow.
the second one. Perfect.
19 on the die. Love to see it.
That'll definitely hit.
27. Where's my DA? Oh, 12 points of damage.
Ooh, he takes 2 arrows in the chest from Bene and he goes, "Fuck you." And he's looking.
Why are you running?
Yeah, why are you running? Why are you running?
And is that the end of your turn?
That is the end of my turn.
Calanthe,
Oh wait.
let's get it up. Yeah.
I'm
Go for it.
going to. I'm gonna move here.
Perfect. Okay, sounds good to me. Count that. Let's go.
I'm gonna 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I'm gonna come over here on top of this rock, real Jurassic Park style on a ledge, just barely out of his radius, I do believe.
Yes, you are.
Boop, boop. Because even with knocked prone as a Tyrannosaur and with Long Strider, I have up to 30 feet of movement. So I'm just gonna sort of wait.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna come up on this big old rock and just in my cotton candy Tyrannosaur form, pink skinned with like blue spots and stripes, just absolutely unleash a huge Tyrannosaur roar.
Yeah.
And, I'm gonna wait.
Okay, are you gonna hold an action?
I can't cast anything. And
you can. I mean, if you.
if he comes into my seas, then I will attack him. But
For
that doesn't seem like that's what he wants right now. So assuming I will hold it, but assuming that like he's not gonna do it. You know, he's like, from what we've seen so far, he's not gonna do it. So I'm just gonna stay and wait there and see what happens.
Sounds good. Holding that action, we move on down to Qell.
Okay, so his let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So his radius is like here, is there,
Yes.
which means I can go to that one.
Yes.
And be on the outside of it.
Yeah.
So I get up and I look at him here, and I'm so tempted to Misty Step to him, but I'm being very conservative with my spell slots right now because I only got 3. So I'm gonna keep doing what's working.
Hell yeah.
I mean, 3 shots is nothing to.
3
It's
shots
nothing
of Eldritch Blast.
sneeze at.
Okay,
What's the phrase?
18.
That won't hit, unfortunately.
Oh, that definitely won't then. 60. Oh no, none of them do.
So how do these Eldritch Blasts miss?
Let's see.
I'm just so cool in my Tyrannosaur form, and the scream is so loud. You're like, oh god.
I think the idea of what he had been doing before, where he like paints them in the air and then hits them out, he's like lost the patience for that, and he's getting used to like casting through this new configuration of weapon. So now he's starting to like, he's twirling it and he's throwing it out like as he's moving. And I think they're sailing so like fast at him, but I think they hit that weird barrier and like glance away from him in a weird way.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. The tentacles come up and like bat them away. Perfect.
I can spare 1 star.
Okay, go
Try
for it. Hit him with the star. Give him the
Plus
star
10,
power.
so I can try it.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
You have to get
28.
What'd you get?
28.
That hits. That definitely hits. Roll me that
yeah.
absurd damage.
The Eldritch Blasts stop working, and then there's a moment where he gets frustrated, and then he just sort of shakes his head and he smiles and he looks at him and he goes, "Tell me, between the 2 of us, which of us is the more afraid?" And
Ooh.
he'll shoot D4, D12. Oh, there's my 4, D12.
You could do it with this guy.
I got a 12, a 9, an 8, and a 6. So
21,
29, 30, 31, 32, 35. 35 exactly.
Wow. He is on death's door. How does this crown hit, or how does this star hit him?
I think, so again, it's like an explosion of light, and the more confident that Qell is getting, he's learning how to control that, so it's just like pulsing around him and illuminating his face, but it's like, it's lighting him from above, and it's making his face just look fucking gruesome and terrifying as he's like baring his teeth at this guy. He looks absolutely horrifying, and as he sends this light out, it hits this guy in the center of his chest, and it illuminates him completely in this explosion of bright light. And in that moment, as he's like lit from underneath by this explosion, I think we see his fear.
Damn, yeah. Okay. That fucking works for me. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
Marius, I'm going to be lowering the DC for this because it's just simply too high. The DC is too damn high.
Yeah, and then intelligence is a stat that I struggle with.
Dump stat.
A little bit, yeah.
So let us know how that goes.
Natural 20.
Yeah. Okay, with a nat 20, how Marius is gonna get out of here with this full turn?
Okay.
How do you get out of that thing?
I imagine like he finds the exit, and it's like like watery stairs going up.
Ooh.
So he
Yeah.
just starts sprinting, and then like he reaches like a water ceiling, and then he bursts through
Yeah.
like a superhero like whoosh, and comes
Hell
up
yes.
from the water and lands, and he goes, "What, you think a tiny little maze could hold me? Do you know who you're dealing with?"
Ah!
And then he's
I'm all about it.
I guess that's his turn, right?
No. You got a nat 20. You get your whole turn.
Epic. Okay. He is going to, for dramatic effect, cast Thaumaturgy, and
Nice.
he's gonna kind of like shake the cave
Uh-huh.
at like when he
Ooh.
bursts out of the water.
Yeah.
And then he's also going to cast, because I looked it up, and you can cast a spell and a cantrip. He's going to cast
Nice, yeah.
Spiritual Weapon.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like this crackling hammer that kind of like materializes just like right in front of him.
Uh-huh. He has 1 point of health. Tell me how you kill him.
Oh, okay. Then
Yeah.
he's gonna burst out of the water. He's gonna say that
Yeah.
what he said, and then he's
Mario.
going to like throw, and then like out of his hand, like just lightning, and then it forms into the shape of a hammer, and it just right into his face.
Oh yeah.
Hits the ground.
The attack hits his face, the spiritual weapon hits his face, and his neck goes back and snaps. And at that moment, you see the tentacles wrap around him, completely engulf him, and drag him underneath the water. You guys all also fall into the water. And that's where we're going to take our break. So, stay tuned.
And then
Stay tuned for the conclusion of Below the Shoreline. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, you can get all of these Roll20 assets. You can look them up in our description box. Go support RPG communities, because this pastime is sick. But for now, thank you to my cast, thank you to you guys, and beware of what lurks below the shoreline. Bye!
Yo ho ho, we'll find what lurks below.